Well-known radio and TV presenter, this week's guest is both a well-known voice and face to many of us. But did you know that she has also directed short films and is an award-winning writer? This week's guest on Sunday Girl is the multi-talented Elaine Kinsella.
Hi Orla.
Elaine, thank you for joining.
Great to be here.
Here in Tralee, and look, the sun ain't shining today, girl. So we kind of have this kind of imaginary kind of clock there that says the rain is coming in from the west.
Okay, right, we better get to it.
We have 10 minutes, let's go for it. So listen, tell everybody a little bit about Elaine.
I grew up in Listowel. I was actually born in Wexford. I think a lot of people don't know that about me. Both my parents are from Wexford. And I studied in DIT, and I studied communications in DIT, a course that was then known as film and broadcasting.
Okay.
And it's not there anymore. I think it might be called media arts or something like that now. But it was a very hands-on practical course. I actually specialised in film and rather than broadcasting. I've ended up working in broadcasting, but I wanted to work in film. I wanted to be a filmmaker. I wanted to write or direct or both, drama. And that's what I did in college, and I made a couple of short films, and which weren't very good, by the way, but I still, I suppose, was just learning the craft. So worked in film for a little while.
So you made short films, and
Yes.
actually, I looked you up on Wikipedia.
Yes, please don't look me up on
I was like,
Wikipedia.
first
It's
of all,
awful.
You
Yeah.
have a Wikipedia account. I'm so impressed, okay?
Yeah.
I have not got one. I really want one.
You can have a Wikipedia account for being notorious as well as well known, though.
Okay,
so
I'll practice
not
that at
always
the
a good thing.
weekend. Okay,
Yeah,
practice. So, and I saw that you made short films, and I saw some very well-known people starred in some of your earlier ones.
In one of
So you've been very modest.
I'm being modest for good reason, though. Cillian Murphy. Are you talking about
Cillian Murphy, yeah.
Cillian Murphy, when he was just on the cusp of fame, he had just done Disco Pigs. Was extremely, people knew how talented he was already. He'd been in a lot of stage stuff, but he was just about to break through and become huge. And he was friends with a friend of mine.
Okay.
And he I was going to say starred in, but took the lead role in a short film that I made that was really an awful film. And it was dreadful.
I'm sure. Can we find it
No,
anywhere?
you can't, thank God, because it was before the time of social media. I went to
Or
college in the
YouTube.
late 90s, you know. And I'm very glad to say it's in my parents' attic.
Okay.
And it is
We might
awful. It's on a
retrieve that
beta tape,
someday.
and it's dreadful. It's really, but he was lovely and he was extremely talented. And there was also a girl in it called Nuala O'Neill, which was in a film called Titanic Town. And Nuala O'Neill, I remember the year that I had her in my short film, Elle magazine had chosen her as top 50 things for this year. And I said, that's so cool, I'm going to have her in my film. And then I made an awful film that nobody ever wants to see. But anyway, I went to DIT, I made films.
But you knew
it
them
was
early
great.
in their career, you know, so maybe by being associated with you, their careers went this way.
Maybe.
Don't be so modest.
So I ended up working in a film. I worked as an assistant director on a documentary about asylum seekers for an independent production company. They made it for RT. That took about a year. It was a really big project. After that, then I was an editor on an animated film that actually won a BAFTA, which was a children's BAFTA, which was pretty cool. Yeah, but I had very little creative input. You
were still on it, Elaine. You
I
need to
worked
up
on
your,
it,
you need
okay.
good PR girl.
So it was a hand-drawn animation. This is so
Okay.
cool. Not that many people are, hand-drawing animation anymore. They drew every image, 24 frames per second, hand drawn.
really
So I
wanted
wanted
to
to
make
make
my
my
own
own
films.
films. I really wanted to write for TV or film. And I was between jobs, and I was working in a pub in the Palace Bar in Dublin. Do you know the Palace
Of course
on
I
Fleet
do.
Street?
Yeah, it's famous.
And I worked there.
Best
and
gin in Dublin, I think. Yeah.
There was
It's an old
also
gin
at the
palace.
time, there was at the time this big teachers dispute going on, and there was subbing work for people. And I got all this subbing work teaching, which was pretty incredible. So I had Irish with my degree. I'm also not very good at Irish, a bit like my short film. Don't ask anyone to display it. And so I was teaching, and I was working in a pub, and I was like, where am I going now with my career? And my mom told me that Radio Kerry were looking for people. And that is as
how
accidental
Really?
as it happened. And that was May 2004.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm here ever since.
17 years ago.
Yeah, I'm here ever since.
And did you go straight into a radio show then? Were
I
you on
did,
the breakfast show
I
straight
did.
away, was it?
I'm going to sound like I'm actually quite a confident person, and I'm not for putting myself down, but I wasn't very good at that either. So maybe it's a good lesson for people.
You're very good at it now, Elaine.
I'm not saying that either, but I've managed to stay, I suppose, doing it for a long time.
You see, I think, Elaine, what you have, and it's really charming about you too, but you're really humble. And you can talk to another person, you're going to go, I've done this movie, and I've done a BAFTA movie, and then I went to radio, and they gave me my own show the day I walked in the door, and, you know, I'm wonderful. But you kind of take the other play. You're like, no, you know.
My parents are very humble. My dad's particularly humble, I would say. And when I started in Radio Kerry, I mean, he told me I was awful. He just said, oh, you've a bit of work to do here, babe. I don't know about this. So anyway, they took a chance on me. I present the show at the moment with Andrew Morrissey, and Andrew's from Cork, and he's a great guy, and we get along very well. And Andrew is an absolute radio nerd. He's obsessed with radio, more so than me. Andrew listens to Australian radio, he listens to American radio. He says, wait till you hear this, and he's just like obsessed with radio, and that's great. It's great to work with him, because he really keeps me on my toes, you know.
And of course, something else really exciting that happened this year. I mean, this is such a funny year, it's very hard to judge time. But you were presenting the Today Show in May with Daddy.
So for the past, I think I did 4 seasons as a panellist in the news panel, which I love doing, and which is a lovely sort of add-on just to the radio, you know. I mean, it's just a nice little, I do it maybe once every week or two. I love the team at RTE and the Today Show. They're fabulous. I get on really well with Maher and Dahi. I get on very well with Sinead. And then when Sinead went on maternity leave, I was one of the people who got to fill in for her. And I did 4 shows in
And you were April, amazing. So don't underplay it. Don't be humble.
No, okay. I actually really, thank you.
Yeah, you were
and
natural.
I really did enjoy
you were
that.
natural.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I like presenting.
And I loved your outfit every day as well.
Thank you.
I just have to. So of course it's all about a work-life balance. So you have a very fulfilling and I'm sure challenging work life. But what does Elaine do in her off time?
Well, I think a work-life balance is easier to achieve in Kerry than it is for some of my friends who live in Dublin and London and places like that. So we're very, very lucky with that, I think, in Kerry. I like to spend time with my daughter, obviously. I have a 10-year-old daughter who I adore and who is fun and challenging and all the great things that your child should be.
But you're very together.
We're
I know
very
that,
close.
yeah.
We're very close,
together.
and you know we kill each other as well. But
totally
she's
normal.
the absolute joy of my life. I love her to bits. I love being with her. You know this thing when people say that a parent shouldn't be their child's best friend. I bet you'll agree with this. I think that is bull. You can't be their best friend.
I was Zoe's best friend when she was in the cradle.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm your best friend.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that I kind of reared her like my best friend. I mean, I still parent her. You still parent?
Absolutely.
But
badly, but okay.
I still want her to be my friend. I don't want her to see me as this person that's unapproachable to her and she can't tell things to as she grows. Like I want to be somebody that walks through life with her and gives her the benefit of the experience I've had in life and perhaps some of the pitfalls we've had. And,
absolutely.
You know, I think it's
definitely. I'm very
honest.
open with her, very honest with her. I heard a child psychologist saying that when she was very young, and I heard her saying, you know, you tell them the truth in an age-appropriate manner. And so I try to kind of parent like that. But we're great friends. We've great fun. She's wonderful. But apart from her, I do love working out. I do love going to the gym. I love hiking. I've got an amazing bunch of friends that I met at the gym. A diverse group of people, ages, backgrounds, nationalities, and we are just this great group of friends. We'll do things like hikes, but more importantly, a big dinner out and wine and chats.
And you know what? If there was one thing that somebody doesn't know about Elaine, have you any? Have you any secrets that are safe to share?
I don't know if this is a secret or not, but I asked one of my friends, and she said, when I met you first, I thought you had it so together. I'm extremely disorganized.
Really?
Yes.
I wouldn't see that.
Extremely disorganized, like to a manic degree, I would say at times. And like not at work. Work is fine. If anybody would like to hire me to do anything, I'm very organized.
Yeah, because I meet you, obviously,
I'm very organized with that.
emceed major events and everything. And you come in, you've read the brief, you know everything. I feel I can go to the bar now.
No, I am very organized when it comes to work and very professional. But when I arrive at a job, there is a wake of destruction left behind me. I'm really disorganized when it comes to like organizing childcare, organizing. Like I've brought my child to school when there was no school on. I've got a call
So
from.
I hope you're listening to this. It wasn't just me. And have you ever left her outside the gate? I've done that too.
I've left her at summer camps. I've got calls saying it finished at
I'm
2.
so
I'm like,
pleased.
what?
Zoe, listen up. You are not the only child whose schoolmaster brought them home.
I'm extremely disorganized.
It's all part of being best friends with your daughter as well. She has to forgive you. Best friends forgive each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, another thing about me is, people probably see me on, when I'm presenting on RT or something, or emceeing an event, and my hair brushed and I look nice and all. I mean, I don't get my nails done.
Elaine, you are so glamorous. You're a girl that I don't know what you do behind the scenes, but when you walk in front of that camera or you walk on a job, you just walk in ready.
Well, I don't know.
You have the just-in-time management style. Ready. Listen, takeaways for somebody watching this interview, other than the child parenting tips.
Okay, don't take any of those. Yeah.
If you want to get in, perhaps to broadcasting, get into presenting, what would be your takeaways?
I think maybe look at the courses that are available. There's a lot of really good courses. I would say, if you want to work hands-on in media, try and do a course that is hands-on, as opposed to learning the theory behind it all. I mean, we do a course, a Radio Kerry broadcasting course, and some of the students coming out of that, I talk to them about it, and I always say to them, have a demo. Have your demo done, so when you leave your course, you are sending this to radio stations or TV stations or whatever, and you're saying, here's what I've done, rather than kind of leaving and going, I'd love to tell people about it. Show us what you did.
Correct. So practical.
Get used to listening to your voice. You've got to like the sound of your own voice, or at least like
you don't want to turn it off every time you turn it on.
Not hate it. You got to do that. I would say make yourself known to people. Some people hate to work for free. I think you have to do a little bit of it sometimes. You got to do a bit of volunteering. Not take the mick out of somebody and exploit them or anything, but I mean, offer your services. And just, I think as well, decide what your interest is. A lot of people come out of courses and they have a very broad range. They're kind of like, I'd like to be a producer. And I'm, well, what would you like to produce? Because when it comes down to it, in media, a lot of people are their own producer, presenter, researcher, and everything else.
The way the budgets go.
So that's, so kind of be realistic, I think, about that. But yeah, and also another thing I notice sometimes with students lately is that I sometimes ask them, or even people on TY work placement, you'd love to work in radio? And they say, I'd love it. What radio do you listen to? I don't really listen to radio. They listen to podcasts or I'm always listening to Spotify or whatever. But I would say, listen to radio or watch TV or whatever it is, the media that you want to get into. Yeah. And I mean, the thing is with technology nowadays as well, I mean, I wanted to be a filmmaker and we were going around with VHS cameras trying to make films.
I remember those. With tape in them.
Some of the phones now are just incredible. I mean, you can buy editing apps, and you can do incredible stuff very cheap.
Okay, let's go. Start again. Because we're in the middle of a public road, and guess what? A car came along, and guess what? It's about to start raining. So we're going to wrap this up, and we're going to go back to Elaine, where she's giving some kind of top takeaways on getting into doing what she does so well.
I was just saying, editing apps and phones and all the rest are a way for you to start making short films or whatever it is you want to get into. But also you need to be positive, you need to be confident about yourself. I mean, I've probably put myself down in some of my film. I'm just being honest about that. But in general, I am quite confident about myself, and you need to be, and you need to put yourself out there and say to yourself, I'm going to be good at this, and this is what I've chosen to do in my career.
And believe in yourself.
Work hard at it.
Yeah, and have goals, have dreams.
Have goals, have dreams, and don't expect big money. People work in media.
Not in media.
There's not big money in media, so you have to love it.
You do. The payoff is variety, I think, in media, and the excitement and kind of job satisfaction. It's not money.
No, and be flexible. I think in terms of hours and everything, I'm going to work very early morning, but you got to, you have to be prepared to work early morning or late at night or whatever it is, and just go for it. Be positive and chase your dreams, I would say.
Live the dream.
Absolutely. Why not?
Elaine, thanks a million for joining us here on the side of the road or the middle of the road in the near rain.
It was fun. Thank you.
I love meeting you, and I love the opportunities that we have to work together, and hopefully, many more in the future.
Absolutely. Thanks, Orla.
So guys, thank you so much for listening to us, and from both of us, we wish you an amazing week.
Bye-bye.